Welcome to the review of Game of Thrones Season 8, Episode 2. And if you think the last episode not much happened, well, this episode really not that much happens. I mean, this episode was really more like The Last Supper to me. It was really the calm before the storm. And even though I think not that much happened, I mean, one really big thing did happen, but I still think it was very much needed. Like, we really need to sit down with these characters as they literally do a lot of this episode and just start to feel their emotions about what's happening, how they deal with death, how do they reconcile with each other. I think that was very much necessary. And so this episode starts off with Jaime coming into Winterfell, and he's sort of on this small mini trial. Like, everyone is just coming at him with like, well, you killed my dad. Well, you struck my dad in King's Landing, and if it wasn't for you, all this wouldn't have happened. And then, cooler heads prevail eventually, where Brienne of Tarth speaks up for Jaime, and then Sansa speaks up for her, and then Jon says, look, man, I don't care if you can fight. Just come on, we gotta get past all of this. But they both come to that conclusion like without Dany. Like, I feel like Dany never had the final word, and I feel like that is just an example that she isn't running things. Like, Dany, to her credit, is doing what she can to try and fit in the North, but people aren't really giving her a chance, I think. And Jaime does tell them that Cersei has no plans to ship any soldiers down here at all. She got the Golden Company, she got elephants, although Jaime doesn't know that she doesn't have elephants. I mean, he doesn't mention that. But pretty much she has 20,000 soldiers. And so that makes Tyrion look like an idiot. Like, Tyrion either looks like an idiot or he looks like a traitor. And I really like this for Tyrion. Like, Tyrion hasn't been like full I'm smarter than you Tyrion since like season 3 or something. And this is probably his lowest point. Like, Tyrion hasn't done anything great for Daenerys really since he's been her hand of the king, since he's worked in from Varene. Bars. Anyway, but this is a great opportunity for Tyrion just to show what a mastermind he can be. And I think what's going to help him out here is that he eventually talks to Bran. And Jaime also talks to Bran, so I don't know what's up with the Lannister man doing what no one else seems to care to do, is just sit down and talk to Bran, pick his mind. I mean, this guy has information on the whole entire history of the world, and it's very fitting that Tyrion will want to do that for him. Eventually, Tyrion finds some drinking buddies, but I'm like, Tyrion, no, go back to Bran and just pick at his mind, get every single detail you can out of it. Eventually, Dany and Sansa kind of sit down, they have a little moment, and it is a really nice moment between two powerful women in the world of Game of Thrones who have been used and abused all throughout, but now they kind of stand atop everyone else. And then Sansa ruins it. Sansa. All right, let's get to my top 5 moments. Number 5 is Arya proves herself. She goes to Gendry talking about, hey, where's my weapon? And he's pretty much like, listen, I'll make it after I make 1,000 more of these axes. And she asks him about what was it like to fight the army of the dead. And he says it was death. That was it. And her response is, oh, I know death. And she just, she starts hammering and throwing these spearheads and just right on target. And then he says, oh, I'll get on your weapon. Don't worry about it. Number 4 is that girl talk between Sansa and Daenerys. I really enjoyed that moment. That was until Sansa kind of ruined it. Gosh, I'll get to Sansa later. But I still thought that was a really good moment. Number 3 is Jaime's trial. Just him being put on trial. Like, it is such a huge departure from episode 1 where he was at to where he's now. And Bran even remarks on that. I mean, Bran does, I love when Bran just drops little bits of dialogue that people have said in the past. This time he didn't need to be the freaking 3-eyed raven to say something, to bring up something that he heard as Bran Stark before Jaime pushed him out of a window of the things we do for love. But absolutely love that moment. I also love just Jaime talking to Bran out in the courtyard or wherever they were at. Number 2 is Sir Brienne of Tarth. She's always wanted to be knighted, and this moment was, when it happened, it was definitely going to be my number 1 moment. I thought, I mean, it was such a heartfelt moment. And Brienne is so proud. And Gwendolyn Christie does such a great job of just showing that. And it was just a beautiful moment. Everyone claps. It was probably the most cheerful we're going to get, maybe until an epilogue, but I feel like nothing else from this point is going to be cheerful. So I think that really helped out the episode, just to really show, what we're fighting for. Number one, of course, is Jon Snow telling Dany his real heritage. Down in the crypts of Winterfell, I really absolutely love this moment. Like, Jon looks like he is just brooding about, and Dany really cares for Jon, and I really enjoy that aspect of their relationship. That it really does show that they really love each other. I think this is the first time I've watched Game of Thrones that I do think two characters really truly love each other in like this love will never fail type of way. She just kind of holds him. He holds her hand. He is staring at a statue of Lyanna Stark, and Dany asks, like, "Who is that?" And I thought he might say, "My mother," but he doesn't. He says, "That's Lyanna Stark," and then Dany's like, "Oh, crap! Dang, my brother kidnapped her and raped her." And she mentions that to Jon, and she does a good job of being really empathetic to him. And, she says, "I can't believe pretty much he would do that." And Jon, in kind of a proud way, he says he didn't rape her. He loved her, and they were married. And he talks about this, and this is the first time Jon talks about his parents. And I feel like he feels, proud of that. Like, before that, Dany talks about such a good man that Rhaegar was. I think he probably really enjoyed hearing that. I mean, he probably sees a lot of his traits in Lyanna that he's heard, and in Rhaegar that he's heard from Dany. I mean, I think it was a really great moment for Jon. Eventually tells her that they got married, and before Rhaegar was killed, they had a baby. And, Lyanna, before she died, gave it to Ned Stark. And then all these dots start connecting in Dany's head. And Ned Stark raised him as a bastard, and that baby was me, and my name is Aegon Targaryen. And Dany doesn't overreact to this that much, but she's pretty much in denial for a little bit. But she can tell that, this is really real, and she probably believes it. I mean, she tends to bring up, well, that would make you the rightful heir to the throne. I find it funny that no one has brought up the fact that they are aunt and nephew. That makes me think that no one really cares, and it's probably a good thing that they don't address that in the show, because just more attention to it is going to make it weirder and weirder. All right, on the top 5 MVPs, number 5 is Ser Jorah Mormont. I just really enjoyed him, not exactly just going after Dany so much. Like, this was his opportunity to kind of kick Tyrion out of the fold, and he can place himself as Hand of the King. But he backs Tyrion. And I think that was really admirable of him to do that. Number 4 is Jaime, just how far he's come since episode 1 of season 1, and how he's just interacting with everyone, and his interactions with Brienne are amazing, and his interactions with Bran are really good. Number 3 is Jon Snow, or officially now Aegon Targaryen. I just really loved hearing him take ownership of that name. And I really love his relationship with Dany. That's really weird. Why am I shipping these two? Only Game of Thrones can you ship people who are very closely related. Anyway, and number 2 is Bran. I love when Bran just drops knowledge bombs on people left and right. I think I'm the only person that really likes Bran. Like, I don't mind that he's creepy, He'll tell you like it is, though. And number 1 is Dany. Dany is doing the absolute most she can to try and win over these people. I don't think Dany has done a single thing wrong since she's arrived in Winterfell. Yet she's been constantly met with, just people with infighting and people pushing back at her. Like, and she's a freaking dragon. Like, if she wanted to, she can just go and demand people fall in line, but she doesn't. There's only one person on my, the worst list, and that is Sansa Stark. Gee, Sansa, stop being the worst. Like, you're having this nice little chit chat with Dany. Everything seems to be good. You guys are, holding hands, being there for each other. And then you're like, but what about after the war? At first, I thought she was gonna be like, "Oh, what are you gonna do about King?" You know, Jon seems to have eyes for you. Like everyone knows that Jon loves Dany. Instead, it's like the North remembers. The North, we fought to succeed from the other seven kingdoms. I'm like, geez, just get over it, Sansa. Get over yourself. I'm tired of you. Can you just go away? Like you're done. We don't need you anymore. All right, on to predictions. Where the heck is Bronn at? Like, I do think he's gonna come back, but it's gonna be after Winterfell. Of course, it's just been dealt with. And I think he's gonna see this, and he's not gonna go back to Cersei. I mean, I already thought he was gonna kill Jaime or Tyrion anyway because he's friends with him. At this point, once he sees just an army of the dead or just a bunch of dead people, dead bodies burning, or however it's gonna happen, he's like, you know what? F money. I need to do this just to protect people. Another prediction is, of course, I think everyone's going to predict this. Tyrion sitting down with Bran is going to lead to Tyrion doing something amazing or strategizing, something no one else can think of. Like, we got to take, Bran's foresight and Tyrion's brilliant mind and fuse those two things and just come up and formulate a plan that will defeat the Night King. All right. Those are my thoughts. Please let me know your thoughts. Please like and comment. And sincerely, thank you for watching. I'm out.